The beginning marks the presence of Shang-Chi's father with the 10 rings and fighting alone with a whole army of soldiers. Nobody knew that from where did he got the 10 rings. The 10 rings had ancient powers and the person wearing it had an eternal life, a gift of immortality. Utilizing those 10 rings, Shang-Chi's father won ample amount of fights. Alongside he made his organization and named it as the 10 Rings. It led to fall down of various kingdoms and government organizations, due to which his organization 10 Rings became famous in the whole world. After ruling the whole country, Shang-Chi's father began researching of a village, because the village was famous for the magic, gems and the mythical creatures found there. So in order to become more powerful he left for the village wherein gets trapped by the magical forest. His car faces an accident but luckily he manages to survive, and met the guardian of the forest who blocks his path to the village and asks him to return. But he refuses to go back, which leads to a fight between the two. The guardian hit him hard and finally Shang-Chi's father got defeated. But during this fight they fell for each other and got married. Unfortunately the village people denied the entry of both of them. After that, little Shang-Chi comes into picture where his mother is telling him the story and tells him about the great dragon protector and gifts him a locket with a green gem. Then scene changes and Shang-Chi is shown living in California since 10 years by changing his true identity. The next morning Shang-Chi looks at a postcard. Here we don't know why is he concealing his identity. Shang-Chi works as a valet with his female friend, Katie. After completing the work they went to see their friend where they get insulted by their friend that even after being so talented they both work as valet, but they both remain unaffected because they are quite happy with the work they do. As it was getting late so they both decided to go home so they could get early in the morning and go to work, but instead of going home they went to the bar, and sang all night, and enjoyed a lot due to which get late for work the other day. While they were riding in the bus some people started argument with Shang-Chi about his locket and tried to snatch it from him, which leads to a fight between Shang-Chi and the snatchers. Shang-Chi beats them all and then finally their leader comes. A blogger sitting in the bus records the fight and gets frightened on seeing the leader with the armor hand. The leader and the Shang-Chi fight and meanwhile the brakes of the bus fail. The driver of the bus faints so Shang-Chi insists the female friend, Katie, to drive the bus. The armor hand man cuts the bus into 2 parts, so in order to protect the people in the bus Shang-Chi moves them to the safer side. Having the bus brake fail, Shang-Chi's friend, Katie, crashes into various cars and finally stops the bus. Shang-Chi then realizes that his locket has been stolen and now they are going after his sister for the locket. So he go to his home and pack his suitcases to save his sister. Katie asks him about the people who attacked him, and he explains that those people were sent by his father, and now they are going after his sister so he needs to save her. Shang-Chi's friend got goosebumps on listening about his sister and asks for detailed explanation. While on the plane, Shang-Chi tells her about his past. After Shang-Chi's mother death his father began giving him full-time hardcore trainings. On turning 14 Shang-Chi's father sent him on his first mission. He was unable to complete the mission due to some unforeseen circumstances. As a result he never returned home. Also then he reveals his true identity to his friend. On reaching their destination Shang-Chi's friend got astonished to look around as she never left America before. They were now looking for Shang-Chi's sister, Xiaoling, and enter an illegal fighting bar. Shang-Chi's bus fighting video got viral and people were impressed by him, and very wisely they get his signature on the fighting contract. Forcingly Shang-Chi had to fight with his opponent. On looking at his opponent he got flabbergasted as the opponent was his sister, Xiaoling, whom he was searching for, but due to some reasons his sister was enraged at him and started fighting with him. Shang-Chi on the other hand does not lay a hand on her. Xiaoling recalls a moment from her past where she asks Shang-Chi not to go on the mission by leaving her alone, else stay with her, which he denies, but promises to return after 3 days, in which he failed, which made Xiaoling upset, so during the fight she kicked him out with a super kick and knocks him out. Afterwards Xiaoling tells Shang-Chi that she is the owner of the place and does not need him anymore. Shang then asks her that if she doesn't need him then why did she send him the postcard. Xiaoling then tells him that she hasn't sent any postcard to him. They both then understood that this is their father's trick. Xiaoling then leaves from there. At the same time their father's men reaches the site. Being on a huge height Shang-Chi breaks the window glass and takes his friend to out where he guides her towards the elevator. To buy her some time he stays there and fights with the men. before reaching the lift his friend was about to fall where Shang Chi tries to hold her, but on continuous attacking by the enemies he lost the hold of her hand. As a result his friend was about to fall where Xialing comes and rescues her, and helps Shang Chi in the fight. After that they are attacked by a bomb where one of his father's man comes and snatches Xialing's locket and ran away. Before going to the helicopter, Shang-Chi caught that men in fights, but before he kills him his father comes there and stops him. He then tells him that he knew that none of his member is strong enough to defeat him. After that all three went with their father to their home, but after reaching there they were quite sad. Xialing then tells Shang-Chi's friend about her father that after her mother's death her father quitted talking with her, and did not permit her to take training with other boys, but she viewed them from far and trained herself to become better than them. When she realized that Shang-Chi will never return, then at the age of 16 she eloped. She then built her own kingdom. At night all four gathered for dinner where Shang-Chi's father insists him in joining back his team, but Shang-Chi denies to do so. Then Shang-Chi's father tells him about his mother, and how she transformed his life, and how they both enjoyed their life being together, that he never imagined it to happen. He then tells them that when they both were out of the house he researched about their mother's village, and found out that she is trapped by her own villagers, and is sealed behind a giant gate. He then tells them that all this stuff has been told to him by their own mother because when they got married their mother requested the villagers to stay there, but they refused as they thought Shang-Chi's father to be a bad person. Afterwards Shang-Chi's father started having dreams about their mother. Shang-Chi refused to believe whatever his father told him. His father then takes the locket and inserts them into the dragon's eyes where the dragon using the water tells them the map to the village entrance. As village's entrance changed like a puzzle every time, but once in a year the path to the village gets straight. This was to happen in 3 days. They then decided to go there and rescue their mother, and if the villagers interrupted then they will burn down the whole village. On listening to this Shang-Chi got furious and asks his father not to do so. Seeing his son disobey his father puts all three into the cell where they meet a villain. He tells them that their father hunt him down to kill him, but he saved himself by his acting skills. Between all this a creature comes with no face and all three got frightened. The villain then tells them that this creature is of your mother's village and desires to go home. The creature tells them the path to the village. With Xialing's help they escaped from there as she escaped the last time. With the help of a car they managed to escape from the cell. Their father on the other hand, instead of following them, orders his men to get ready for the war because if his wife returns then it's fine, otherwise there will be a war. Shang-Chi and his friends managed to cross the magical forest and reached the village by passing through a waterfall. On reaching the village they get astounded to see a variety of the mythical creatures. After that they meet the villagers who asks them to return, but there comes Shang-Chi's, and who stops the villagers and permits them into the village. Shang-Chi explains to her that they have very less time as their father is also routing towards the village. Their aunt then tells them about the village's history as to how 1,000 years back a very dangerous soul-taking monster attacked their village. He took the soul of the people. After getting destroyed their village, the monster was routing for humans in the other world, so their forefathers made a team of 11 warriors, but they were also not able to withstand the monster's powers. Then their great protector, the dragon, defeated the monsters and sealed them behind a giant gate. Since then the villagers are protecting the gate. That soul-taking monster is contacting his father in their mother's form and calling him to open that as he holds the strength of opening the seal using his 10 rings, meaning that all the hallucinations of their father were false, and this was all a trap. Their aunt shows them the weapons made using the dragon's skin which can kill the monsters easily. Also she shows Shang-Chi and his sister their mother's gift, which was the village's uniform. Then all three started training for the war to become stronger. Xialing trained with the new weapons and become more powerful. Shang-Chi requests his aunt to train him his mother's art as she was the one who defeated his father once. His aunt then trained him. Shang-Chi recalls a moment of his past whereas it shown that the cause of his mother's death was his father, because when they got married his father wore out the 10 rings, due to which his enemies got a chance to attack his mother. When Shang-Chi's father saw his dead wife he gets very angry, and put on his ring, and started killing Shang-Chi's mother killers. When he found about the main leader he sent Shang-Chi to kill him, which was Shang-Chi's mission, after which he never returned. Shang-Chi's friend came to him looking for him, and he tells her that he completed the mission of killing his mother's killer. but then he realized that his mother would be so upset with him as she didn't want him to become like his father. This was the reason he never returned home, but this thing still disturbs him. Next day everyone gets ready for the war except Shang-Chi's friend, as she was not ready for war yet. Shang-Chi's father reaches the village and orders his men to attack the village, and the war begins. Alongside Shang-Chi's father is routing towards the giant gate, and Shang-Chi goes after him. They both started fighting and Shang-Chi hits him hard, after which his father attacked him with the 10 rings and throws him into the water. He then struggles to open the giant gate using his 10 rings. The giant gate was enormous, so he couldn't break it in one go, but it was open enough for the monster's companions to come out and take souls to him so that he could become more powerful. Xiaoling, on the other hand, asks her father's men to work as a team, but they deny to do so. After getting attacked by the monster, they realize that their weapons are ineffective against them and decides to team up with the villagers. Shang-Chi's friend also gets chance to be a part of the war. Inside the ocean, Shang-Chi finds the great protector, the dragon. After some time he comes out of the water with the dragon and start killing the monsters. His aunt asks him to stop his father from further opening the gate. Shang-Chi then goes to his father and both of them start fighting again. This time Shang-Chi was fighting just like his mother, which overwhelmed his father. During the fight, Shang-Chi was able to control 5 rings his father threw at him, and both of them were fighting with 5 rings each. Shang-Chi's father did an underground attack at him which let Shang-Chi control 10 rings, but he lets them go off and requests his father to return. But his father denied, and the giant gate opened and the monster came out of it. The monster was attacking Shang-Chi and his father, but his father threw Shang-Chi away and gets himself trapped by the monster. While the monster was sucking his father's soul, he gave his 10 rings to his son and died. Seeing him die, Shang-Chi gets very upset. The monster was about to attack Shang-Chi when his sister came with the dragon and protects him. The monster then roots towards the village to get some more souls to increase his powers. Shang-Chi then seals the gate and goes with Xiaoling to kill the monster. They speed up the dragon and catch the monster before reaching the village. Using his water's magic, the dragon tries to seal the monster, but monster's companion come and feed him with more souls, making him more powerful than the dragon. The monster then tries to steal the dragon's soul. Shang-Chi was unable to help the dragon as he did not want to lose his sister again. In the meantime, Shang-Chi's friend shoots an arrow on the monster's neck, due to which the dragon sets free and traps the monster by his magical water. Shang-Chi goes along the dragon and inserts all his 10 rings into the monster and breaks it into smaller pieces and wins the war. After that, Shang-Chi and his friend returned to California, where a man came looking for him and took him where they talked to a captain and his assistant. That man came looking for him as he received some signals from Shang-Chi's 10 rings, which marks something terrible is coming their way. The movie ends here. Thanks for watching.